On today's menu, we are making cranberry chocolate chip pecan breakfast muffins. And these are such a great on the go snack, perfect with a cup of coffee or tea, and really easy to make. We're going to start with 4 cups of all purpose flour, and I'm sifting that directly into the bowl of my stand mixer. And if you're going to use a hand mixer for that, this is fine too. Just go ahead and make sure you're sifting your flour. And then we're adding in 1 cup of whole wheat flour. So 4 cups of all purpose flour and 1 cup of whole wheat flour. And we're going to sift that directly into the bowl. Now it'll get to the point where I will notice that the whole wheat flour is not going to completely go through the sieve. So I'm going to just dump the rest of that in. And to the flours, we want to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And to that, you want to add 2 teaspoons of salt. And I am going to use just regular table salt, but you can use sea salt, you can use kosher salt, just as long as it's not coarse salt. You want it to be fine, okay? And once we give that a nice mix, I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and the cinnamon is optional, or you can even add some nutmeg as well if you want that, but I'm just going to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to give that a stir with the rest of our dry ingredients. Now once we get that stirred in, the next is the sugar, and I'm going to use 2 cups of sugar. Now the original recipe calls for just a little bit more, but I am scaling back the sugar on purpose because I'm trying to keep this as healthy as possible for breakfast. So 2 cups of sugar goes in, and then we're going to put in our butter, which is 2 sticks of salted butter, and this is room temperature butter. You can also use 1 cup of oil if you prefer, but I'm going to use butter here. And if you're not comfortable with using salted butter, then go ahead and use unsalted. Using salted butter is just my personal preference, but you can use unsalted if that's what you're more comfortable with. And once we get all of our butter into our dry ingredients, we're going to give this a mix, but not before we add 1 8-ounce container of room temperature sour cream. Now, if you don't have the sour cream, you can also use 1 cup of milk instead. I am going to add milk to this batter later on. So if you want to just use all milk, you can, but I like how the sour cream gives the muffins a nice fluffy texture. So 1 8-ounce container or 1 cup of room temperature sour cream. And once we get that in, we're going to just give this just a short little mix on a low speed just until combined, and then we're going to start adding our eggs. So I have 4 large room temperature eggs, and we're going to add them in one at a time on the lowest setting possible. And the one thing about making muffins is you do not want to overbeat your batter. It will make your muffins tough and they won't rise properly. So we want to do everything on the lowest speed possible, and always only mixing until just combined. This should go pretty quickly for you. And now that our eggs are in, we're going to get ready to add the milk. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of room temperature buttermilk. But if you don't have buttermilk, you can use regular milk. You can use whatever milk you have on hand. You can even use almond milk if you want. So, but I'm using buttermilk because that's what I have. It's just a 1/2 cup, and to that I am going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And we're going to add this in while mixing on a low speed, and I'm going to get it till it's just, once I add the milk into the muffin mix, I'm only going to mix it very, very briefly. Then I'm going to stop the mixer, and I'm going to do the rest of the process by hand. I just want to get it mixed enough to where it's not splashing anymore. But after that, the rest of this process is going to be done by hand. just with my spatula, my rubber spatula, and we're gonna add our add-ins once I get it off the mixer. So I'm gonna take the bowl off the mixer, give it a good stir, and I'm checking all the way to the bottom of the bowl, make sure everything is completely mixed. Now I want to add in my cranberry and pecans. Now I happen to have this topping that's already mixed together of cranberry and pecans that I normally put on my oatmeal, so I'm using that, but you can purchase them separately. Now I'm also going to add to this 1 cup of mini chocolate chips. Okay, so it's 1 cup of the cranberry pecan mixture and 1 cup of mini chocolate chips, and we stir that in by hand. And then I'm using a 2-ounce scoop to fill my muffin tins. If you don't have that, use like a heaping tablespoon. A heaping tablespoon will work as well. But I'm using my 2-ounce scoop. I ended up getting a total of 3.5 dozen muffins out of this mixture. To top these muffins, I have some mini chocolate chips and some more of that cranberry pecan topping mixed together here in a bowl. And I'm going to put just a teaspoon or so on top of the muffins. Garnishing the muffins with some more of this topping is optional, but you also get some more of your fiber from the cranberries and the pecans, so I want to put some more on top. These baked up in a preheated oven, 350-degree oven, for about 20 to 25 minutes. I did bake all of them at one time, and I just rotated the pans halfway through. I did also brush them with melted butter when it came out of the oven, and these are so delicious, and they do have a nice serving of fiber in them. Try them today.